Okay, let's pray. Almighty God, in your wisdom and goodness, has appointed the offices of leaders in parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of the people. We beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants, whom you've been pleased to call to the performance of important trust in this republic. Let your blessing descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interest you have committed to our charge. Amen.
Thank you so much, our clerk. We would like to know who are you?
Okay, thank you, Chairman.
I'm heading there.
Okay, my name is John Kariuki Derito from Original Constituency, Timo Ward.
Thank you. I would like to invite our clerical team to ascertain that this is Mr. Kariuki. You can produce your original ID for the purpose of clarity.
Yes, Chair, we can ascertain that the person before us has produced an ID bearing the name of John Kariuki Derito of ID number 596, ending with 11, from Nyandarua North. Yes.
So, having satisfactorily confirmed that this is Mr. John Kariuki, I will invite our council to help the nominee take an oath.
I, John Kariuki Derito, do swear that the information that I shall give before this committee is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you, our senior counsel. So, as I had told you earlier, this is the Youth and Sports Committee, together with the clerical team, headed by me, the chairman. Kuriado, I'm the member representative, Gadanje Ward. Much welcome, and I will invite my fellow members, starting with my vice chair, to introduce themselves.
Mr. Kariuki, how are you?
I'm good.
I'm Honorable Lucy, vice chair of this committee.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Kariuki.
Good afternoon.
I'm Juliana Mogore, a member of this committee.
How is you, Kariuki wa Sport? I'm Honorable Patience Manga, specially elected from Gadara Ward, and I'm a member of this committee.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Kariuki.
Afternoon to you,
My name is Peter Mwangi from Raragwa Central, a member of this committee.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Milka Nyambura Mwangi, special elected member from North Kinangop Ward. I'm a member of this committee.
Thank you.
We have our clerical team, starting with our clerk. Welcome.
Good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon.
My name is Patricia Chege. I'm the committee clerk in charge.
Thank you.
Good afternoon again.
Afternoon.
My name is Kennedy Mwaniki. I'm a legal counsel in the County Assembly.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon to you.
My name is Judy Kinywa. I'm the Hansard officer attached to this committee.
Thank you.
Yes, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
I'm Lewis Jenga, the photojournalist.
Thank you.
Kamau Daniel, Sergeant at Arm.
So thank you, team. Mr. Kariuki, why are you here?
Thank you, Chairman. I'm here for the purpose of vetting, for the purpose of being appointed as the Chief Officer, Department of Youth Affairs and Sports.
Thank you. Take us through. Give us your background.
Okay, thank you, Chair. As I've said, my name is John Kariuki Derito. I am a bona fide member of Nyandarua County, having been born in Gatimo Ward in Orjoroko constituency, where I grew up. I attended Gatimo Primary School, which is actually in Gatimo Ward. After that, I proceeded to Mweje Secondary School, which is in Laikipia County. After that, I went for my A-levels, that is from 5 and 6, that I attended in St. Paul's Gekano High School in Kisii. I went to St. Paul's Gekano High School in Kisii for my A-levels, after which I went to the University of Nairobi for my bachelor's degree in social sciences, Bachelor of Arts, after which I was employed as an untrained graduate teacher in a school in Murang'a County called Geshagini Secondary School. Then I taught in another school in Daragwa called Irigidadi Secondary School, after which I was employed as a senior sports officer in the then Ministry of Culture and Social Services. That was back in 1997. From then I've served in various working stations. By then they were districts. I was first posted to Murang'a County as the district sports officer, then to Nyandarua as the district sports officer. After that, I went to Kiambu as the district sports officer. From there, I went to Kirinyaga as the district sports officer, then Meru as the district sports officer. That is where the new constitution got me, and I was absorbed by the Meru County government as the Director of Youth Affairs and Sports. That is where I've been serving up to date. After the election of the new governor, after the last election, I was appointed as the Acting Chief Officer, Youth Affairs, Culture and Sports. That is where I'm working currently.
Thank you so much. My first question to you, what is your net worth?
My net worth is around 30 million Kenya shillings.
Breakdown?
Breakdown, well, I have some properties in different parts of this country. Nyandarua, I've got my home, my shamba, and my house. I have got rentals in Nakuru County. I've got another home in Kiambu, Thika, and Murang'a. So that is how my property is distributed at the farming interest in Laikipia County.
Which ward do you come from in Nyandarua County?
I am from Gatimo Ward by virtue of birth. My parents live in Gatimo. I've got property there. And I also come from, I can also claim that I come from Wero, having bought property in Wero, and I have built a house there, and that is where I live currently. So I belong to the two wards.
Thank you. You, being a resident of Nyandarua County, you know very well we have such a good history in the sporting activities. We have had legends like the Samuel Wanjiro, the John Gogi and the likes. And as of now, you have you can relate that the sporting activities in Nyandarua County has gone down. What are you planning, if given the chance, that you will help revive the sporting culture in Nyandarua County?
Thank you, Chairman. If appointed to this position, I've got great ideas on to how to revive the sporting culture in the county, and this would include, first and foremost, to come and establish a baseline survey as to what sporting facilities we have in the county, that is in terms of the grounds, the stadia. How many stadiums do we have in this county? I would also be interested to know what are the main sporting activities and the popular ones in this county. I'd also be interested to know what are the main challenges facing the development of sports in this county. From then on, I would go ahead and establish grassroots mobilization for sporting activities in the respective wards. One is to make sure that we have equipment, enough equipment for our sporting people in all the villages, that is the local clubs. As you realize, and as you have rightly said, that our sporting standards have gone down. One of the main reasons is lack of equipment. You go around, when you go around in our villages, you see young men and women playing volleyball in a pitch that doesn't have even a net. And I was surprised in some instance that instead of a net, they have just a rope across the two poles, you know. Now, such people cannot be expected to compete in another championship. So we have, first of all, to equip them. Then we have to go and do some maybe leveling, at least as a playing ground in every ward. In every ward, we make sure that we have leveled a ground. Then, as per the governor's manifesto, we have to improve one sports facility to international standards. And I'm glad that our Karao Stadium, the governor has already started working on our Karao Stadium. And more on that, we have to make sure that we compete in the local championships, like the ones organized by the FKF and other sports federations. Also the national championships, like the Kenya Youth Inter-County Games, and also the Kikoska. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. We have had two of our members who have just checked in. I'll give them the opportunity to introduce themselves to our appointee. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. My name is Bogomburu, Area MCA Weru, and from the onset, Chair, let me register that I happen to know personally Karaoke Sports, the nominee today, but that does not mean that I will not carry my oversight, all the jurisdiction or the agreements or what is expected of me being an MCA, despite that I know him personally as a friend and as a parent there before. Thank you.
Chair, I'm Madhu Wainaina. I represent the people of Mirangine and also a member of a sport committee.
Thank you, fellow members. In your CV, I've seen that you have worked in, you have been in this county government for quite some while. You have an experience in the county government plannings and in the sports department. Tell us, what do you understand in the term Kikoska?
Okay, thank you, Chairman. Kikoska is Kenya Inter-County Sports and Cultural Association. That is sports for the county government employees.
And in which department does it fall into?
It is squarely anchored in the Department of Sports, having being a sports activity.
Thank you. I'll invite fellow members, starting with my vice chair.
Mr. Kariuki, how do you understand the term county officer in the context of county chief officer?
The chief officer is anchored in the Constitution, the section 45 of the 2012 Constitution of Kenya. Yeah.
Okay, I've got like 3 questions to ask you. If you asked maybe the county of Nyandarua, matter sports, football, to play in a league or we do a tournament, which one would you take?
I would take a league.
Why?
Because for one, a league will cater for many teams, and it will also take a long duration, other than a tournament that may be a 1 day or even 2 days event.
Do you think Nyandarua County we should have sports academies? And if yes, where?
Yeah, we should have sports academies, and in fact, given the opportunity to serve, one of my objectives is to set up sports academies in every sub-county. And this can even go even to the wards. When we talk of sports academy, most people think of constructions, like we have halls and other concrete facilities, of which it is not necessarily the case. We can have a sports academy so long as we have a ground, we have a curriculum, we have the trainers, and we have the facilitators. So this can start even at the ward level, so that these guys, the young boys and girls, after being trained, they can graduate to the next levels of sporting competitions.
Okay. In Nyandarua County, we have got very few women participating in sports. What do you think we can do to make more women participate in sports?
Okay, thank you, Mheshimiwa, through the chairman. Women participation in sports in Kenya and in Africa in general has been quite a big challenge, and we have got very few of them participating in sports. One of them being availability of time. You see that in most of the homesteads, the young girls are the ones who do the cooking, the taking care of the young ones, and even their parents, while the boys go out there to play. So that is quite a challenge because the young girls don't get that opportunity. As also, you'll see that there is a lot of stereotyping for the young girls who participate in sports. During our days when we were young, those people, I mean the young girls who could participate in sports, if the chairman would allow me, if you could be seen playing football outside there, if you could allow me, we used to call them wajakehe, you know? That is a girl, boyish girl, isn't it, you know? So that stereotyping actually has kept so many girls out of sports. So we need now to bring them out and show them that sporting is for everybody, and anybody can actually qualify and excel in the same. And many of our young girls have now started putting up and catching up. Thank you.
Mr. Kariuki, in your opening remarks, in your opening, you talked about Nyandarua having a standard stadium.
Yeah.
From the little I know about having a stadium, you need at least 1.2, 1.5 billion to have a standard stadium. I don't think in our budget, which is around 7 billion, we can take a whole billion to a stadium when our people don't have water. How do we then raise this money for a stadium?
Thank you, Mheshimiwa, through the chairman. Actually, construction of a stadium is a very expensive affair. It actually requires a lot of money and a lot of time, and the county government on its own may not achieve this. But there are other stakeholders. Like now there's the Sports Kenya, which is actually a government institution mandated to construct sports stadia in Kenya. They have done so in other places. In Meru, they have done one. In Nyeri, they have done one. In Moya, they have done one. Eldoret, they have done. And in Kisumu, they have done. So if we come up with good proposals and the BQs, I believe Sports Kenya would come in. And actually, I have seen through the social media that the governor has already taken the first step to approaching the Sports Kenya, and that is a step in the right direction. That is how we can achieve it.
Thank you. Mr. Kariuki, tell us the final one. What is this special thing about you that you can convince this committee you are the best suited person for that job? I want you to bring it up like you have a roadmap where we can take our youth and sport. They go in hand in hand. What is this one thing about you that will change the youth of this county?
Okay, thank you, Mheshimiwa. I believe I've, from my CV, as you can see, I've vast experience in matters to do the sports, in matters to do the training. I've undergone a lot of training from the universities, the National Academy of Sports, and other federations in matters to do with the sports administration and the coaching. And even in my past, even in my unofficial capacity in Nyandarua, I've tried to raise the standards of sports, especially in our constituency back in Orjorok. This I've done with my resources, sponsoring teams to participate in FKF organized leagues, the local leagues, and I believe, given the opportunity and the resources, I think I'm best suited to do that job, and I will do it.
Thank you, Mr. Kariuki, and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair. We have had a visiting member. So we give him a chance to introduce himself to the appointee. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chairman. Good afternoon, Mr. Kariuki.
I'm good, Mr. Kiruka, Mheshimiwa Kiruka.
Yes, Kiruka Boro, representing Sharagitawand, a friend of this committee. Thank you.
Thank you. We also have one of our clerical team. We can also have him to introduce himself.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, Bwana Kariuki.
Good afternoon to you.
Yes, my name is David Gitau. I'm a research officer in the Assembly.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gitau. At this juncture, I will invite Mheshimiwa Babu to have your question.
Thank you so much, Chair, for this opportunity. Mr. Kariuki, I first and foremost want to congratulate you for getting this far. I know so many people applied for this position, and it will be wrong not to tell you congratulations for this.
Thank you.
It is therapeutic to listen to you so far because of your rich experience in the matter of sports and the relevant department. I have a few questions to ask you. Who is your appointing officer, or office rather?
Okay, thank you. The appointing authority for my position is the governor.
And who is your dismissal authority?
It is the governor.
Okay. I think the chair will eventually make it clear to you as we go by on that question. I have another question. You have been proposed for an appointment of a very powerful office that has 3 dockets. You have the youth empowerment, you have sports and arts. Our Honorable Vice Chair has talked so much about sports, but I would want to hear something special about arts and how you think you can revamp that sector in Nyandarua County.
Okay, thank you, Mheshimiwa. Now, as far as arts is concerned, I believe we have a lot of talent in Nyandarua that is untapped, and the same can be tapped if we harness our youth and the talents that are there through maybe things like the martial arts, music recording, and also ICT. I believe these are areas that can be explored and our youth can take advantage of the same.
Thank you. That is quite satisfactory. And a last one, what is your relationship with the Public Finance Management Act? I'm talking in respect of the office that you are seeking.
Okay, the Public Finance Management Act is actually anchored in the Constitution, and it is supposed to ensure that the officers actually make prudent use of the resources. And in my capacity as the chief officer, I will be the accounting officer. I will be in charge of finances, and therefore, the Public Finance Management Act actually is the guiding principle in our day-to-day activities.
Thank you, Chair. I'm satisfied.
Thank you, Chair. Once again, good afternoon.
Afternoon to you,
Something just, Mr. Kariuki, I need to understand. One, which position did you apply, and why did you apply this, the said position that you are nominated?
Okay, thank you, Mheshimiwa, through the chair. I applied for the position of Chief Officer, Youth Empowerment, Sports and the Arts. I did not apply for any other one. The reason for which I applied for that one is that because I'm very passionate on matters to do with the youth affairs and the sports and empowerment. I also believe that I've got vast experience on the same, and I've got a positive contribution that I can make to the youth populace of this county.
Thank you. Another one, just a general question, is that you have tried to listen to your explanation, and you have put more emphasis on sports, arts, but now we have another department called youth empowerment. Today, as we study in Nyandarua, we have 60% of the population. It makes mixed up of the youth, and most of them are unemployed. Others are like informal sectors, a small group is informal sectors. As now the Chief Officer, Youth, Sports and Art, how will you address the issue of youth in respect to unemployment? Yeah. Second, in the respect of unemployment through sports and also art. The third one, I know you hail from Nyandarua, from birth and also until today. You understand that in Nyandarua we don't have a stadium. Yeah? And as Honorable Kulia, our chairman, had stated that for us to move sports to a greater height, we need to have stadia and we need to have sports academy. Understanding that we are not the first government, we are that from the time devolution came. Each and every government has been giving sporting equipment, has been empowering youth, and to date, there is your department, as you join this department, how are you going to undertake that we get stock of the equipment that's been given by the previous government, whether they are working or not? On sporting equipment, how will you address the issue of sporting equipment, knowing that each and every year, financial year, the county government has been giving our youth sporting equipment, but after the sports, I don't know where those equipment goes. They are just left there.
Okay, thank you, Mheshimiwa. Well, if I may start with the last one about the issuance of sports equipment. As you realize, sports equipment is a perishable good. So that once you give out a ball in a certain season, by the time you end that tournament, that ball may not be there. So likewise with the nets and uniforms, these are perishable goods, just like vegetables. So if we could go back to what was given by the first governor, Mheshimiwa Idhaka, we may actually not get anywhere because they are no longer there. Same thing with what was done by the previous regime. What we need is to forge the way forward and to make sure that the equipment given actually is in safe hands. And this can only be attained by having prudent management of the clubs, such that they can manage the equipment that they have been given in a proper way in terms of storage and issuance and usage. You realize that even most of our sporting grounds are very rough. The fencing is made up of barbed wire. So once you play in those grounds, you can be assured that that ball will not rust. So the first solution is to have a proper management of that, the club level, to make sure that our stadia are proper, the grounds are leveled, no rocks, and the fencing is not made up of barbed wire. That is how we can make sure that the equipment given will rust. Now on the issue of stadia, I don't know whether maybe you come up again.
I'm stating, you are aware that we don't have at least a complete stadia in our county. Bearing in mind that we have 5 sub-counties, and we cannot just dwell on maybe one stadia, which is upcoming or Kalau. What are your plans to make sure Nyandarua, being a sporting county, that we try to bring more stadias?
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. As we do the flagship project at our Karau project, I do agree that we need stadia and playgrounds in all the parts of the county, and this will require budgeting for the same, so that we can at least have level grounds. Even if we don't do much, we can level the ground, maybe fence with a concrete fence, and maybe a podium in every sub-county and also at the ward level. These grounds will go a long way, not in facilitating sports, but also other social activities like the National Day celebrations and other social gatherings within the sub-counties. So this will require budgeting. As the chief officer, I'll be coming to the assembly through this committee to request for additional funding so that we can do the grounds in our wards and sub-counties. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, there's the issue of unemployment. Actually, as you say, majority of our youth are unemployed and actually idling in the field because of lack of unemployment. And this can never be addressed so long as we keep on entertaining the issue of white-collar jobs in the offices. The opportunities would never be enough. So we need to come with alternative methods of empowering our youth, and especially through ICT and sort of innovation. Also, we need to inculcate a culture of empowering our youth so that they can also participate in agriculture, and we show them that agriculture is an alternative method of earning a living. And I thought if we could maybe come up with an idea of having model farms in within the county, so that our youths can be participating, the models farm to be managed by our youth. Then during maybe the school holidays and the college holidays, our youth can visit the same and run and see that agriculture can be an alternative way of living, earning a living. Yeah.
Mr. Kariuki, I was asking that question in regards to the sports. That is, I'm looking for the unemployment, addressing the issue of unemployment in relevance to the youth empowerment, youth and sports, youth and arts.
Yeah.
Which measures are you going to bring in so that at least, as much as we are talking about agriculture, but now we are addressing issue of sports, youth empowerment, and art?
Thank you, Chairman. Now, the 3 components, sports, youth empowerment, and arts, can be used as a major source of income. And actually, we have seen that many people, especially in the North Rift, are earning their living through sports. If you go to Eldoret, for example, the major buildings there are owned by athletes. And actually, if we can nurture our talents and exploit them, our youth can earn a living through sports. We have seen our athletes here. We have the former John Goge, the major building in Nyahururu is owned by him. Kamau Ajiro the Rate, we know how he had prospered economically. Kina Karoki from Karagoine, you know him, the way he has prospered economically because of sports. So if we can nurture our talent and also market them, it's just not a question of just nurturing and playing here in Nyandarua. If we can market the same, and especially through what I've talked about, the talent academies. If we have the talent academies, we have the National Talent Academy in Nairobi, which comes around to identify and tap the talents. Then they go and train them further. And it is from there that the national clubs come to pick their their teams. We can be assured that some of our people play in the national leagues and they'll be able to earn a living. Now, when we come to the issue of youth empowerment, we know that there are some programs that we can employ, like the Ajira Tujiajiri program that is actually funded by KCB, whereby the KCB wants to make the youth as to promote them to be entrepreneurs, whereby they can partner with our county to train our youth and then give them the right kits so that they can be able to do their activities. For example, we have got in some counties, actually the county where I'm working currently, we have a program called the Meru Youth Service. The Meru Youth Service actually entails identification of the needy youth, train them on discipline, then in partnership with the Tujiajiri program, they are trained in the polytechnics and then given equipment to do their jobs. And so many of them have become self-reliant. So I believe we can achieve that through that system, Mheshimiwa.
Thank you. And just a rejoinder, taking you back to Mheshimiwa Babu's question. Who is the appointing authority?
Well, as much as I know, it is the governor.
And who is your dismissal?
I believe it is the same. I start to be guided.
Also, the assembly can recommend your removal. Thank you.
It is true. Yeah, the assembly can recommend my removal by the governor. If I start to be corrected.
Chair, let me help. You are appointed by the governor, approved by the county assembly. So that means the county assembly can independently initiate a motion to impeach you, or the governor can propose. But I have a feeling for you, if you make it, it might not apply. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Kariuki, having known you for more than 7 years,
thank you.
I want to congratulate you for being a nominee in this noble process. Again, having you working for many counties in sports area, if you are privileged to work in Nyandarua County, I can see Nyandarua going somewhere high. I have 2-3 questions. One, what's plan would you put in place to ensure sports and art talents are identified early enough and nurtured to compete at the global stage?
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. Now, I would say, just as I said earlier, for the talents to be identified earlier, we need to have our own scouts who would be going around in the school programs. We have got a primary school calendar of events in sports. So we need to have our scouts who are actually drawn from the FKF and other sporting fraternities to go and identify those kids as they play. Then we need to put these kids in a training program so that they don't disappear along the way, so that we can we can then put them into the FKF leagues or the Athletic Kenya calendar of events, where their talents will be nurtured and they will not just disappear in the thin air.
Thank you. Number 2 question. What is your opinion on betting, casinos, and other form of gaming / gambling? Do you think it is a lucrative economic activity in Kenya today?
Okay, thank you, Mheshimiwa. Gambling and casinos, I would say it is a good venture. It is a source of income for the entrepreneurs. It is also a source of income, a source of employment to the number of people that may be employed there. It is also a source of revenue to the county government if we could have several. So actually, casino and gambling is not a bad thing altogether. However, it is addictive and it can be destructive. You know, it has led to many people even committing suicide after losing their savings. It has led to divorces in most of the families, and such other harmful behaviors like drug abuse and depression. So actually, what we need is a regulation and education. So if and when I'm approved for this position, I'll actually come up with a policy to govern the management and administration of casinos and gambling in this county. It's that accrue to it.
Thank you so much. Also me, I say no to casinos. Being that field of youth, I can see how bad it have been. I have one concern. In the past few weeks or a month, we had talent search. And this talent search, it was for our young generation. They used their resources, and we understand our youth, they don't have that money. They are not employed. They did trainings, rehearsal, and at the end, they came out to the finals at the county level. But it pains me seeing that there were so many talented children and youths, and they were given gift gift in terms of their shining. They were given a token like 10K shillings, 15,000 Kenya shillings. But that discouraged me. Mine, I see it's good. If maybe is a musician, or you have this talent and you are shining, you make that child or that youth to reach her or his dream. So if you are privileged to work to Nyandarua County, humbly, it's good you look on that area, that we have to take these youth and children to reach their dream. All in all, I wish you all the best, and I bless you. Have my blessings. Thanks you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. But on the same, if I may just respond, having a talent show in the whole county is actually a very expensive adventure, and the county government on its own may not be able to achieve the same. We need to look for sponsors, look for partners, and I believe we have organizations like the Kenya National Theatre who can come in because they're interested in our artists, and they can actually support such a program. We have the Permanent Presidential Music Commission, which is also in that area of theatre and talent search. And actually they can come around, they can come on board and also support our programs. So that if it is enumeration, we don't have to give 10,000 shillings, maybe we give something 100,000 shillings. Thank you.
Chairman, can I contribute? Very well. Good afternoon once again, Mr. Kariuki. I will a little bit sway from what the others are saying, and it is good because this is a committee of an assembly in where we should clarify our work. Ours is not appointment. We had a committee because what we are doing today, we are trying to prove whether the due diligence was followed when you were nominated. The nominating authority was a certain team that was set aside, not the governor. Then ours is to come and approve whether the due diligence was followed, whether your document fits. Then the governor has now the capacity to appoint you. On the issue of dismissal, it can be a censure from the assembly, it can emanate from what you'll do when you are in the practice. That is the correct position. What if you don't make it, Bwana Kariuki? What will happen?
It's my humble request that you find me fit to do the work of the chief officer in Nyandarua County. Thank you.
Very well. The others seem to be supportive. A coin will have two sides. Now, Mr. Kariuki, I can see from what I have read, I've seen that you started practicing the issue of sports when I was in kindergarten. You have first experience. What leadership style do you want to bring in that will change the systems that are existing? Your own personal leadership style that you will impact in our department, so that at least we can change from the norms of the two CEOs we have had to now the new experienced karaoke sports.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa, the chairman. If I'm found fit to hold the position of the Chief Officer Youth and Sports, I will employ a consultative method of leadership, a democratic method of leadership, because I believe that everybody has got a point to offer. Everybody has a contribution to make in the Department of Sports. I will engage all the sports stakeholders in this county. We have the federations who are mandated to lead the sports. We have the Athletics Kenya. We have the FKF. We have the basketball. All these people, I'll bring them on board. I'll endeavor to come up with a policy that is to guide all the sporting activities in this county, and will come to this assembly to make sure that that policy is approved.
Thank you. As a chief officer, if found fit, you will be the accounting officer of the department. We've had issues of pending bills in this country, all the way from the national government down here in the county governments, anywhere people or contractors or rather suppliers are subjected to unpaid debts simply because they were not paid. What new will you do to make sure all the requisitions that you'll do in your department are done within the time frame and are paid without going to the preceding years, rather falling pending bills?
Okay, thank you, Mheshimiwa. I agree with you, Hore, that the issue of pending bills is the only issue, not only in Nyandarua, but the whole country. And actually, it has led to many businesses collapsing, and this actually needs to be addressed. One of them, what I would ensure as the chief officer is early and timely procurement. We start the procurement processes early enough so that by the time we close the financial year, we shall have been able to pay all our bills and also be able to consume the budget. I think the main problem has been late preparation of work plans, late preparation of the annual development plans, and this is what has impacted negatively on the issue of payment of the bills.
Well put. I know you have been working in Meru county government, and I was trying to follow their budget. Their budget today for the same department is 10 times that of Nyandarua. And you have been the acting chief officer. What is making you necessarily think of coming to Nyandarua and combine it with being the father of the department, because you'll be controlling the human resources or the human resource better? What during the dispute in the department, which mode of leadership will you employ to make sure that you are in tandem with the policies approved at the executive part of the same down to your members? In other words, I'm trying, how will you mediate between the workforce and the policy makers up here?
Well, on the issue of budget, I may not be privy to the budget for sports in Nyandarua County, but I believe, as a legacy, I would like to be remembered for having started new programs that are actually not in existence today, because we realize that we have always concentrated on the traditional sports and forgot that there are other sporting disciplines that we can do. For example, you realize in Nyandarua we don't have a public golf club or golf course. I would actually put pressure through this committee so that we are allocated RAD and purchase a golf course or a RAD where we shall establish a golf course for the Nyandarua people. You realize that most people in Nyandarua who are players of golf always go to either Laikipia or Nakuru to play golf. There are other sporting activities like the mountaineering, hiking. These are sports disciplines that can bring tourists in this country, and then we shall be able to appropriate a lot of revenue from visitors who will be coming for these events in this country. Thank you, Madam.
Okay, thank you. All the best.
Thank you.
Through the chair, I want to, because Honorable Bogo said that we are not interviewing you, we are just vetting you. So, and my first question: do you believe that you are vetted in the right way?
Yeah.
Not somewhere. I need to ask all the questions and then you respond. Then, question number 2. Are you a Christian? Question number 3. Do you know that there is I know very well you said you know the governor in manifesto. There are even MCAs members who representing their wards. They have their own manifestos. What shall you do to merge them? The third one, the fourth one, we have been talking about talent search, and now you want to change the county. How can you maybe let me give us your view on talent search and innovation search? The last one is about unemployment. You have stated that maybe there is unemployment in Kenya. What measures will you bring this county to make sure that we see that after vetting and approving Mr. Kariuki, the county have changed? Thank you. Maybe Chair, he can answer my question.
Okay, thank you, Mheshimiwa Madhu, through the chairman. If I may go through the questions, you have asked me around 4 questions. One of them is whether I see that whether I've been vetted through the right way. I believe it is the right way because this committee is constitutionally mandated to do the vetting before the right committee. So I believe what we are doing is the right thing. You have asked whether I'm a Christian. Actually, I'm a Christian from the Kenya Assemblies of God Church. That is where I fellowship with my family, of course. Now, there's the issue of the manifesto of the governor, and the manifesto of the MCAs. I believe when the MCAs were going around looking for votes, there is what they were promising their people, just as the governor was promising. And I believe at some point, as we make the CIDP and the ADP, that is where the merging point comes. And I believe the same processes have been done so that the interests, the MC actually present the interest of the wananchi down at the ward. And I believe there have been a public participation, and their interests have been captured in the ADPs and the current CIDP. So there would be no any conflict in the manifesto of the governor and the manifesto of the MCA. Then when it comes to the issue of the talent search and the issue of unemployment and empowering of the youth, and as we have said earlier there, we need to have a lot of innovation so that to empower our youth, and especially through use of the ICT technology, so that our youth can use the technology in terms of communication and earn a living from the same. The issue of unemployment is actually a big challenge in the whole country. And one of them, actually, one of the causes is the type of training that our youth are getting in the colleges. You get that most of the academic disciplines that they pursue are not employable. So actually it is upon our directorate, the Directorate of Education, to counsel our youth on the type of courses that they pursue in the university and the colleges. Also, we need to empower youth in terms of procurement. There is the AGPO rule on a certain percentage that should go to the youth. So my department will make sure that the percentage that is supposed to go to the youth in terms of procurement actually goes to them so that they are empowered. I shall also recommend that we have a county youth board. This county youth board will ensure that the youth of this county are represented in all the boards and the committees where decisions affecting them are made so that they are part of it. Thank you, Mheshimiwa.
Through the chair, there was a reason why I asked you if you are Christian. But before that, I need to give you a homework. If we approve you, these things about unemployment in our county should end. I will bring a policy paper to you that I am working on it about having a revolving fund to pay for our youths to go to foreign countries. Like I saw last time our CS Reba was in Qatar to maybe signing this MOU with the country. So we need maybe although we'll sit down and see the way forward. Finally, who will assist you to fight the youth of Nyandarua? Because now they are complaining that karaoke is a father, a grandfather. We were denied that chance to serve us, the chief officers, and that's why I asked you. Are you feeling that maybe you are denying your daughter or your son an opportunity to serve to the same county? Thank you. And I wish you well.
Okay.
Maybe you can respond.
I can respond, Mheshimiwa. Especially now on the first one on the policy paper. Actually, I'm in full agreement that we should have a policy on how the youth will be empowered, and this can be enriched by having a seed capital. The county government should give a seed capital to the organized groups so that they can start businesses and repay the same with the minimal interest. I would wish that your policy paper actually includes this in the same. Now, when it comes to the issue of age, I believe that the matters to do with youth are not for the youth only. I'm a father, and I'm also a parent, and also a grandfather for that matter. And in my family, I've got youths. I'm the one who is mentoring them. At the same time, in the directorate, I believe we have a CEC who is very youthful, and actually she's the face of the department, and it should not actually be a big problem in the same. Thank you, Mheshimiwa.
Thank you, Chair. But maybe what I can request you, we have been in this government for the last 5 years, the former government, and we usually come here and vet CEOs and CCMs, but what they tell the committee is not what they implement. Being a father and a grandfather, I request you, whatever you have said today, have a checklist. I have done this, I have done this, I said this, I done this, I done this, and I wish you all the best. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, fellow members, for your cooperation and engagement. More so to our nominee, thank you so much for your time. Maybe you could give my fellow members your closing remarks and our clerical team.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa, through the committee, through the chairman. I'm actually very grateful to have been accorded this opportunity so that we can have this engagement. Actually, as much as it is a vetting exercise, I'd also call it consultative, very educative, because it is also a running process. I believe that if given the chance, I will give my best and give back to the people of Nyandarua. Actually, I'm very grateful because I've had the opportunity to work with most of you in other forums, in our wards, like Honorable Bogo, Honorable Madhu, we have also interacted, Honorable Duo, Honorable Kadogo, that is what we call her, and also Juliana Adimirika. So it is not actually a new ground, I'm actually home. And I really pray God that we achieve for the people of Nyandarua, so that you also have the courage to ask them to vote for you for the second chance. For those of you who are to seek the second chance, or Mr. Madhu will be seeking maybe the third chance or even higher seat. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, our nominee, Mr. John Kariuki. Sorry, do you have something to add on it?
Okay, thank you. You have done well. It was quite impressive.
Thank you.
And I'm wishing you all the best. This county would be lucky to have you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We are so accommodative here, and you are Juliana with Mheshimiwa Madhu to see our guests.